There's a new demographic in town that could be ruining America. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Katie Stone, and this is Stone Second Sense. Now, before we dive in, I would like to ask you to consider hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and sharing this video with a friend, because here we do not gatekeep the Second Amendment. Now, also, before we dive in, I am going to forewarn you. Some of this, I guess technically could be a trigger warning, because some of these clips will be referencing the tragedy that happened in Minnesota. And I would also like to go ahead and clear the air and let you guys know how I feel about it. It was in fact a tragedy, and things like this should never happen. I hope nothing like this ever happens again. So now that we're clear on that, this white liberal woman has an idea on how we're going to fix it. Take a look at this.
I have an idea. How about some of our billionaires get together and offer to buy back assault weapons or semi-automatic weapons, and since they have so much money, they can give the money to the gun owners and then melt down the weapons.
Okay, so for starters, our Second Amendment rights, our firearms, are not for sale. Also, would like to go ahead and give her a little information, or those of you watching probably already know this, but newsflash, firearms are not exactly cheap. So if it were about the money, we wouldn't have them to begin with, because they're not cheap. Someone who probably has never seen a firearm up close would have no idea. That being said, let's let her continue her rant.
I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of the billionaires that were very tired of hearing about, they don't really do much for philanthropy. They just hoard their wealth. So maybe this would be a good way for them to solve a problem which leads to the number one cause of death in children, which of course is gun violence.
Of course not. It's not. It has been debunked time and time again. I can pull up the stats, but you guys are probably tired of seeing them. The only way that you could even pretend to say that it is children is if you also added in 17, 18, and 19-year-old, get this, men. 18, 19-year-old. Those are men, adult men, and females 18, 19, that is adults. That's the only way they even get close to that number. They're not realistic, okay? All of it is just lies to pull at your emotional heartstrings to get you to willingly give up your freedoms and your rights and your Second Amendment and God-given right to defend yourself. Gross. Anyways, that demographic I was talking about, don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but it is liberal white women. I have started to notice an overwhelming amount of liberal white women, particularly white women. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are plenty of others. The men are just as bad, and I'm sure there are other races or whatever, people, whatever. But I'm going to tell you right now, I have noticed an overwhelming amount of liberal white women that are doing a huge disservice to the country. It's kind of disturbing, but she's not the only one. There's more, okay? Check out this one. Let's check out this one.
You really have to give it to the Conservative Party, because over the past couple of days they really banded together and made sure their voices were heard whenever it came to that Cracker Barrel logo. And guess what they won? But in the meantime, we're still fucking killing kids.
Nice choice of words. We're still, we are still. Probably doesn't mean anything. Well, let's let her continue.
Where the fuck is your humanity? Where the fuck are your priorities? Because you care more about a chain restaurant logo than you do about the fact that your child goes to school every day with a very strong possibility of being gunned down in his own goddamn classroom.
Oh. I do not like when people use GD. But I would also like to voice something, because I have a child now, so this hits a little close to home. And I would like to I would like to say that none of us, any of the people that I know that are gun owners or conservatives, they are not okay with these children being shot at school. They're not. The one big, huge difference is we don't believe that gun laws or banning guns are going to stop deranged criminals or individuals with mental disorders or anything else. We don't think that new laws or banning anything is going to stop that from happening. So we have other opinions on how we approach that, which they don't really care to hear. That being said, let's let her continue because she is clearly outraged.
You pieces of fucking shit. Fuck you.
That doesn't sound deranged at all. That's totally normal. People definitely get on there and rant like that. It's totally normal. That being said, she's not the only one. Here is this one. Y'all take a look at this one. This one's really, I will preface this by saying, I don't think this one was born a female, but it looks like it does identify. I mean, it could. I don't know. I don't want to get close enough to find out. But this one clearly appears to identify. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be guessing, but looks like it wants to be a girl or is a girl or something of that sort. And it is clearly liberal and white. So, your opinions. I'll ask you about those in just a moment. Actually, before we dive into this, what are your opinions? What do you think so far? Do you think that liberal white women are becoming a cancer on America? What are your thoughts? Let me know. And let's get back to whatever this is.
I'm so sick of this. This shouldn't happen. There's no excuse for this. And it seems like school viewing season starts earlier and earlier every year. And we just allow it. I feel terrible for the kids. I feel so bad for not just the victims, but the people who witnessed it and will now have to live with that for the rest of their lives.
Okay, so that part I think most of us can agree on, but it's about to get spicy in a very negative direction.
I don't feel bad for their parents. This happened at a Catholic school. There should have been no children there at all. We know what the church does to kids, so I feel terrible for the kids. May the universe protect them from their Catholic parents. And
Yeah, you're not disturbed at all.
the church. Y'all can shove your thoughts and prayers right where the brightest of the suns don't shine. So far up that black hole of yours that even your God can't see 'em or hear 'em. Because I'm all out of compassion for Christian nationalists.
That being said, I think we should all give our thoughts and prayers to this individual because it clearly needs them.
Fuck y'all. You did this.
Oh, and once again, it's our fault. Love it. That's wonderful. It's such a great world and life to get blamed for a deranged psychopath harming people. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. That being said, there are more where that came from. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this because I know that it's a very sensitive subject. But I know there's a lot of people that have opinions on how we make this better. And I know that a lot of us know for a fact that adding more gun laws or taking away guns is not going to solve the problem. So I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know. Am I getting any better at these longer videos? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And remember, it's not the guns. Have a great day.